Hello, good morning, Guten Tag. Welcome into another episode of. I threw myself off, and now the original script is gone. Welcome to another episode of Good Morning Nasdaq, right here on the Clover Trading YouTube channel. It is the 5th day of September, year of our Lord 2025. We got Kyle with us today. I was so happy to see him pop in because it's been lonely the last few days without him. He's been traveling back home. He's in the office. We have the little goldfish with the shark fin, so we know we're home. We know we're here.
We're
back to close things out for this week. For all you four leafs, just want to remind you, I did post my monthly recap of August last night in the Clover room, so go check that out. If you just go do it, just go check it out. And we're on to bigger and brighter things in September. Not a whole lot for me this week so far. I don't know about you, Kyle. I know the swings have been a little light. We've had some sporadic movement, some runners, but it's kind of been like, INHD goes from being below support to breaking out to gone, which you look at in hindsight and you go, oh, big breakout. But then you go, I don't know how to play this. We got reversals, reversing HWH bounce yesterday significantly where I would have wanted it to, but it does it in pre-market. Sometimes I feel like you just go through stretches where the market's just not meant for you, and that is okay. Because we need to pass it around. Some other people who it is meant for them needs to be for them sometimes. But it's Friday, Kyle. How do we feel going into the weekend? Are we just sitting on open and relaxing?
Today feels the most busiest of the week, just on the size of my watch list. Because my watch list wasn't very large at all week long, and now it's like, I actually have a list of tickers. So it's exciting, but yeah, pretty choppy, and this jobs report just came out that is pretty much, making rate cuts even more likely. I'm sure some people are going to start talking about 50% or 50 basis points instead of 25. But so yeah, things are kind of rampant. Like open, again, I know open is somewhat interest rate correlated, so that's up. But yeah, all I have is open, and it's a big winner. So like I could just write open and be done with the month.
Ride it to the sunset?
Yeah, pretty much. That would be pretty cool.
I don't believe it. I'm too pessimistic these days.
Unlikely.
There's been I don't know how much you've been popping in the last week or so, but there's been kind of an ongoing joke now. It's like if you're in something and you want it to work, just be super pessimistic about it. Like, oh, there's no way this could hold up. Oh, this is definitely going to squeeze me. And that's how you build the fuel for the move that you really want. But yeah, I'm a really pessimistic trader, and I think that's probably it could turn people off to like my style of trading, which is like super. Like last month I was green and I had 5 green days, and it's like it's a lot of depression. It's a lot of days showing up, taking a couple jabs to the throat, and then walking away healing for the night, and then going back at it tomorrow. Can I have some more? And so. Like I feel like as a risk reward trader, you naturally just feel like everything's going to fail because so much does fail on you. And you're just kind of like surprised. That's why I tell you sometimes, I'm like, even when I win, I'm just like, it's more of like a breath of relief, like a sigh, than it is like, yes, we did it. We nailed one. It's more of like, it's about time.
It's like, thank God.
And that's what makes the speedy cycles of the market. When we get a sector or a bunch of big breakouts that work in a row, you're like on top of the moon. Because it's just not normal. Not most market cycles we're in are you're going to get really good opportunities multiple times a week.
Right.
Mark wants to know how's the poison ivy. It's healing a little, but there's just random dots. It's very frustrating. The nights are very itchy, but I think it's done on my face, so that's good. You can barely see it on my face. That was stressful. But we're here. We're ready to go. We have a webinar at 9:15 for all the 4-leaf clovers and black clovers. So we will jump out of here right around that time. Let's go with the biggest gapper of the day. We'll talk about that. And then if you guys have any other questions, start throwing them in there, and we will answer those until the end of the time. If you haven't already, make sure you go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. We got 26 likes already. We'd like to get that number into the 40s. Only 81 viewers right now, so a little light. It's a little slow still this week. But as that number goes up, hit that thumbs up button, and make sure you tell other people to hit that thumbs up button as well. All right, PRSO is your biggest gapper of the day.
Parasso Inc.
Peraso Semiconductor out of the United States, 6 million float. They have 2 hours ago. Mobix Labs sweetens offer to acquire Peraso with cash and stock deal delivering value now and growth ahead. That's an interesting PR. They typed in ChatGPT. I want to write this, but can you make it more like mainstream? Yeah, put sweetens the offer. So they sweetened it up. The original offer was not quite sweet enough. Wasn't enough sugar in there. So they added a little bit of that MSG, that aspartame. They sweetened it up. They threw some cash and stock deals in there, and they're like, value's coming. And the market likes
cubes.
Ooh, a nice little cubes, yeah. And those ones in school used to play with, and but yeah, dude, they're sweetening the deal. All right, 6 million float, 1.8 months of cash left. It says offering ability is low, but everything else is quite high. Looks like a lot of the deals are from many years ago. You see anything sticking out to you? I see a 2024 ATM, but that's pretty small.
No, I mean they need the cash badly, but they've kind of in this position for years. Like when it shows the cash, the cash left on hand in that chart, it's like it's been on the months for like 2 years now. So I'm not really sure how they're slowly getting cash, but then saying
if you look at pretty much every month or so, they use like $250,000 to $1 million of an ATM.
Yeah.
And they just fill the pot a little bit, and so they're probably just staying alive until they can get that deal sweetened up a little more. Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at the daily chart. Pretty good volume so far this morning. Not a stock that's done a whole lot of. Oh, I got a random freaking print up there. Top left to bottom right. There's not really a lot of days in which this is trading. Kind of been in a range of like 50 cents to $1.50, bouncing back and forth for the past year. Day one mover, day one runner, up 80 mil volume so far. Pretty clean intraday. Just kind of spiking from the 80-cent area all the way to as high as the 160s and consolidating near the highs right now. What say you? I don't really see any obvious behavioral tendencies of this one. There's no big gaps, no big volume.
Yeah. Not a lot of history. As much as there is like chart history, there's not enough like gap or history. I don't know. I'd like that they need cash, so if they're going to use an ATM and get a lot of it, they would do now. But that news, I feel like, throws a wrench in it all, because, like, if they are getting a deal or a buyout offer that, like, is actually good, then, like, that's a risk. Like, I don't know where they're buying them out at, unless it says it in the thing, in the PR. But at least as a short, like if I'm short biased, it's like they could put up PR tomorrow, today, during the trade that like, hey, we've accepted that offer, and then this thing goes straight to $2 or $2.50 or whatever the buyout price is, right? Or $1.50, because
well, if the deal's that sweet, it could be a lot higher.
Yeah, if it's sweet the deal, it could be $5. Who knows? I don't know. So I don't love it for that reason. I forget if we did a Good Morning Nasdaq earlier in the week or late last week. And there was a buy, or there was a merger, and it's like I mergers, buyouts, they're never my favorite ever, because then it adds in a massive mix of like fundamentals and where the chart should be and not be, and like it doesn't fit the small cap technical trading, mojo that we like to do at Clover, at least that I specifically like to do when it comes to at least gap and craps, right? So again, I've gotten very picky on gap and craps in the last couple months. I just look at this thing and I'm like, is this really going to change my trading career? Absolutely not. Do I understand it well enough to risk it to find out if it's going to change my trading career? Which I already know it won't. Like, no.
That's why I hate gap and craps. It never will.
So I'm just like, I'm just going to let it do its thing. I don't know if it goes up. I don't know if it goes down, and I don't really care. It doesn't matter to me. That news changes things. If the news was something like, oh yeah, we just created our first product that's going to get released in 2027. Okay, yeah, good luck with that. Like, yeah, I would probably short it. But that PR specifically, I think, changes things enough to where, you know what, I just don't care to see this thing play out or even trade it.
PRSO, The Art of the Sweetened Deal by Donald Trump. All right. There you go. That's your biggest gap of the day. Everything else is kind of just up very small amounts right now. not looking like a super impactful day in the gappers world. Someone asked about, do we have patterns for day one gappers? They put first green day / gapper. Just so you know, for our vernacular, how we speak about things, we aren't from the world of you must speak like we do, but if you're talking with us, to us in our community, we like to everyone be on the same page. So first green day is a separate pattern. Day one gapper is kind of what we call these stocks that we talk about every single day, the biggest gappers of the day. It's just the day that the stock gets on our radar. And on the long side, we definitely don't have any. No one here does the gap and go or the gap and crap reversal. A lot of patterns. I know a lot of people do trade on day one. A lot more scalpy patterns, looking for the biggest squeezer of the week. We've just found a lot of our data has led more to where Kyle and Huddie are mostly shorting day one gappers, because the odds much favor over the long run that they will fail than they will run. It doesn't mean we don't have big runners and squeezers off of day one movers. It just means that taking advantage of them on the long side is it's more unpredictable from a systematic perspective, and it's kind of like chasing unicorns and hoping that you catch the good one. But for all of our styles, you really rarely see us on day one buying, unless it's a part of some really big sector theme. I know there was a moment when Kyle was buying day one treasury news when that kind of started, but I feel like that is an exception to the rule. For the most part, we look at these either from the short perspective or the ignore perspective.
Right.
Let's see. Jabril talking about how the market continues to go back to the highs, and it creates the situation for sudden drops while you're trading. Definitely agree. When the market's kind of uncertain, but it still looks fine, that's kind of where you see those 2 or 3 day stretches where all of a sudden we lose a good chunk of the last weeks or months of effort. And that's kind of why I think you see Kyle not really putting on a lot of swings right now, even though the market's at all-time highs. The sentiment isn't matching that. And because of that, we're not seeing the type of big moves across the board that we have been seeing.
Yeah. Really, since when I look at the chart, really since August, we've been straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down. Like, it's just been very choppy. Like, 1 week's all up, 1 week's all down. And now we're on all up. Pushing new highs. But unfortunately, as much as now bullish it looks, it's just like, and that's the tough part that I'm learning. It's like I could buy. There's a few swings today that, like, if they go up to certain price targets, I'm gonna be like, hey, this is probably buyable. But the problem is like, what if we're not out of the choppiness market yet? It's like a risk reward kind of play. It's like either I buy it and the market just goes right back to trending just fine, and it's like, okay, I have great entries now, or I just capture a winning move, or I buy and the choppiness isn't over and I regret buying. So. A little bit difficult that I'm still trying to navigate and learn from, but in general, I'm not all that eager today. But it wouldn't shock me if I cave and like want to take a smaller
It would not
piece.
shock me at all.
No, because I want to be part of it, but I also know
Kyle is the kind of guy where if you
I
give
don't wanna be part
him
of it.
an opportunity, he's going to take it, even if he's like, oh, it's 1/12 size, just let me get involved.
It's like, let me remove the FOMO.
Warren asked about if the Clover YouTube video subscription includes the monthly reviews, and I replied yes. If you do join as I think it's like a member on YouTube, it's like an easy way to get our video lessons without having to be part of the room or get everything else, the watch list, the webinars, all that other parts of the education. But it's just a way where if the YouTube community doesn't really want to come join our Clover community, but you can still get access to some of the video lessons where we talk through our patterns, talk through our data and how we manage our months. That's all available there. Euro says SOGP and NBY first red days ? And someone else asked about how you enter those type of plays. Is it mostly discretionary, or is there a style for it?
I mean, that's a great question, more in detail for like. Actually, I would say today because I'm doing a live trading webinar later. But in short, yes, it's discretion. I don't have a systematic approach here. It's very discretionary in, analyzing the stocks, characteristics, right? Because not all stocks are created equally. Like NBY is a much different mover and trader than SOGP, and either not trading them at all or position yourself accordingly is that discretion. So no, it is not systematic for me. I have yet to find someone who does do it truly systematically in the sense of like to the point where they could have a robot trade it for them. I'm sure it exists if someone wants to willing to do the work, but I have not seen that really take place at a very core level. But it could exist, and if it does, I'd love to look at it one day. But I have not seen it.
Unless it's like a cookie cutter, like stock up 4 days in a row, up 292%, and it hasn't gone red, and we're opening 1% higher. My brain is going to go like, I'm going to short that red move, risk yesterday's high or today's high, call it a day. When you have these kind of choppier movers like SOGP and NPY, I almost give myself like a long leash, and I'm like, watch it for a bit. And I am more of in the boat of like, I'd rather miss a first red day than just kind of start losing multiple times on it. So I am like, I want a trend break, a low a day break, a 5-minute low break, a red move, a spike if it's gapping down into yesterday's resistance. Like, I kind of want some price action. You rarely see me on a first red day unless it's a cookie cutter green to red move. I kind of give myself the ability to, adjust on the fly, see a little bit of price action, and then try to use. I think Kyle does a lot of that where he'll let it trade out for a minute and then short a low a day break or like into some weakness if he sees it on the tape. But it is definitely more nuanced and more discretionary. All right, and then someone asked about HWH daily breakout if it sets up. I have that one on watch as well. I think yesterday was kind of an interesting day where it kind of did the reversal thing into the highs, but didn't actually break out like we've seen recently with like OPAD and DAR and INHD and did I say OPAD? I don't know. SOGP. If this continues to hold up and starts basing the 687s, I will be watching it today. I think it looked pretty dead like IPDN the other day and then kind of came back at the end of the day, especially after what we saw with IPDN kind of coming back from the depths and reclaiming the breakout level. I wouldn't write it off just yet. It's a Friday. We'll see if we get some fireworks. But that is 9:15. Kyle's going to run over to Clover and do a webinar for the people, do a little live trading, talk through the open. So I'm sure he'll have a good time there. 46 likes. Really appreciate you guys out there. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel as well. If you want to do some over the weekend studying, you can always hop on over to clovertrade.io and get yourself signed up for 4Leaf. If you want access to all the video lessons, all the webinar archives, everything we've ever done is on there. Hundreds of hours of content. If not, appreciate you guys being here on our free YouTube community over here. Although we ask that you hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel. Share it with others if you please. But thank you for some great questions. Thank you for a great week of Good Morning Nasdaq. We will see you Monday morning. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Go Ducks. And for all you NFL people, enjoy the first weekend of football and your fantasy. But any last words, Kyle?
No, yeah. Enjoy your weekend, guys. 4-leaf clovers. Expect maybe a video lesson as well this week or weekend or maybe later today. And then also I'm going to try to get done my YouTube monthly recap as well for just YouTube in general. So busy week of filming and catching up and doing some work, and hopefully you guys are doing something similar to get better every day and get prepared for next week. So
wonderful, amazing. Have a wonderful day and amazing weekend, everybody.